In this video segment, what I'd like to do is show how to name, we're going to work with binary ionic compounds. The prefix bi means two, so compounds with just two elements. So we're always going to write the positively charged ion first. That's the cation ion. And the negatively charged ion is going to come second. And we change the end of that second one to IDE, and we'll show you some of those examples. So here, fluorine becomes fluoride. Bromine becomes bromide. Oxygen becomes oxide. And phosphorus becomes phosphide. So we do change those endings. So binary compounds, here's how we name those. So Ca is the element calcium. Cl is chlorine. I got those from my periodic table, so you will need to check your periodic table. And remember, since you are using your periodic table, correct spelling is important. And I will not write chlorine. I'll change that ending to chlor. Notice I changed that ending to chloride. So calcium chloride. Sometimes students want to do this. They see the 2 right there, and they want to put the 2 in the answer. That is not correct. So don't put that in the answer. No numbers in the answer, just the words calcium chloride. Yeah, we'll keep that. Next one is copper fluoride. Cu is copper. And capital F is fluorine. But remember, I won't use fluorine. We have to change the ending to fluoride. Just like we did with chlorine, we changed it to chloride. Na is sodium. Element P is phosphorus. But again, we won't say sodium phosphorus. We would say sodium phosphide. We change that ending to IDE. And the last one on this page, magnesium, Mg. And we see fluoride up there. We can use that again. Magnesium fluoride. Excuse me. So that's how we do binary compounds. There's a little bit of a twist, though, with the transition metals. So transition metals often have more than one type of atom. And so we look here, copper can be a +1 or a +2. So we put a number in parentheses to mimic what that oxidation number is. So if I see a 1 in parentheses, it's +1. If I see a 2 in parentheses, it's a +2. I see a 4 in parentheses, it's +4. 3 in parentheses, +3. And so we see a pretty simple trend here. Whatever number is in parentheses, that's the number that would relate to that oxidation number. And we're only going to see numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 for these oxidation numbers. So transition metals, so how do we do this? So Cu, that's copper. And I'm going to do this for now. I'm going to put the parentheses there because we're going to have to figure out what number goes there. Cl is chlorine. But remember, we changed that ending to chloride. But now how do I know what number goes in parentheses? Because when I look at my periodic table, copper can have a +1, or copper can be a +2. So it can be either one of those. So what I do to find that, if we go back to our idea on how we named these elements, did the formulas, I'm sorry, we had to crisscross oxidation numbers. And so we crisscross oxidation numbers. And so when we crisscross those, well, if I reverse that crisscross, this 2 has to go there. That 1 has to go there. So when I look at these, in order to make this correct formula, copper has to be a +2. So I come over here, and I put a 2 in parentheses. Copper 2. Chromium, another transition metal. I'll put the parentheses there. We'll figure that out in a minute. Sulfur becomes sulfide. There's that ending change. But now, what number do I put in those parentheses? Well, again, remember we crisscrossed. Well, in order to make that crisscross, that had to be a +3 for chromium and a -2 for sulfur. So I come over here, and since chromium is a +3, 1, 2, 3, I'm using chromium 3. I'll pause the video, try and do the last two. Hg is mercury oxide, CO is cobalt fluoride. So try those last two, pause the video, and then we'll take a look at the answers. Now that you've had a chance to do those, Hg is mercury, but that's a transition metal. So again, I'll put the parentheses there. O is oxygen, but we change it to oxide. I come over and I reverse the crisscross, because again, here those numbers had to come from up top. And remember, we don't write the ones, but that was a 1. So mercury had to be a +1. Oxygen is a -2. So since mercury is a +1, I'll come over here, put a Roman numeral 1. And there's mercury oxide. Last one, CO is cobalt. F is fluorine, but I'll change it to fluoride. And I come over here and I do my reverse crisscross. That one was a 1, remember. Come on, trying to make that, that's about as big as I can get it, I guess. Well, since cobalt's got a +2, 1, 2, and there's my